I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're exploring the resilience, dreams, and struggles of migrant families with an amazing author. Her name is Geraldine Jones, PhD, and she is also known by her pen name, Gauger. She is the author of a powerful book. It's called Beside the Golden Door. This compelling novel brings to life the daily realities of labor camps along the East Coast, capturing one family's unwavering determination to overcome adversity while holding on to their dreams. With powerful storytelling and unforgettable characters, Beside the Golden Door is a must-read for anyone who values the pursuit of a better life. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. We ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. And be sure to download the Spotlight Network TV app, streaming on Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Well, thanks for inviting me. It's my pleasure, and I feel privileged to be a part of your life. So thank you so much for
It is
allowing me to be here.
my pleasure, my privilege to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us. The migrant experience is so topical, considering what's happening in our country right now. We have
Mhm.
an unprecedented number of migrants who have come here, and now we've had a presidential election that looks like they've elected a man who wants to send them back, if that would be even possible. Tell us about your family that you focus on. Are there experiences based on real life experiences? Tell us a little bit about this family you created for your book.
Well, the family that was created in the book is not anyone in particular,
Mhm.
except that I base it on a number of different lives and different stories and different people, people with whom I had contact during my work experiences and during my adventures in seeing folk in migrant camps, seeing folks work in migrant situations, and as a social worker, having to be a part of the lives of migrant children and the lives of migrant families, of educating the migrant children as they traveled up and down the East Coast to make sure they received an education in their adventures.
Yeah. Are these migrant camps still functioning today? Or is this,
Yes,
they are?
yes, yes,
And where
yes.
would you find them?
It's hard to find them. You have to be in the arena
Yeah.
to know where they're located.
Are they mostly
They're
in the like
like
up and down the eastern seaboard?
yes, mhm,
Yeah. Mostly in rural and farming areas?
yes. But there's the migrant route on the East Coast, in some instances, was from Florida
Mhm.
to Georgia to North Carolina to Virginia to Maryland to Delaware to New York.
Hmm.
And there were also migrant camps in Massachusetts. And that's a part, they're all focused on the book. What
Hmm.
happened to those folk as they traveled from one part of the country to the other? Then there was another route that came from Texas around the area and up the same road, but generally from Texas to Florida and the same route, but they brought a different group of people from the Texas route often than the route that came from Florida.
Hmm. And this migrant farming community is kind of done with a wink and a nod from the United States because they get special exemptions to come here and do migrant farming, right?
I don't understand that question.
I was saying that the United States government realizes that these migrants are here to farm. In some cases, given special working papers to
Oh,
farm.
Mhm.
And so it's almost like a dirty little secret of the migrant situation is that we need them to pick our crops in many cases to do our farming and to do essential work, right?
Yes. But most of these migrants aren't the farmers, they're the workers.
Hmm.
And they're hired by the farmers
Right.
on this East Coast route to
Yeah.
come and do the work. The farmers ask a person in that area to get a crew together and bring them. And that person generally is paid to bring those folk up. He gets a crew together and they work independently. And the farmer produces his own crops. Very few of these migrants are farmers themselves.
Yeah. When I said farmers, I meant workers.
Okay, all right. I
Interchangeably,
apologize.
somebody, yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I
Well,
meant people who work on farms, farm workers, I should
yes.
have said, would have
Okay,
been
all right.
better. Um, so are these people exploited?
Wow, that's a good word. Uh, if I tell my whole story in my book, then nobody want to read it.
Well, you don't have to tell your whole story, but
But
generally, are they beating, are they here for a better life, that it's better than where they came from, and that, it's kind of a situation that works for both sides in many ways?
oh my goodness, no,
No, okay.
no, worse for one side. They come to survive.
Right.
They come to survive because often, for example, in Florida, the wages there are just as meager as there are as they travel up the coast. So the these folk often don't have that work in Florida. So they follow, for example, here, they follow the potato route
Right.
because different areas have different planting for potatoes or different crops. So they follow the potato route, they follow the tomato route, and then sometimes the tobacco route.
Mhm.
But to survive, they
Yeah.
hope to make enough money, and often they bring children. They bring their children,
Right.
and they hope to make enough money to go back home to support them until they get another job at home. They
Yeah.
do not become wealthy working on the migrant route.
Oh yeah, I didn't think they became wealthy, but I was thinking that they might, coming from a desperately poor area, our meager wages might seem like a lot to them, relatively
Yeah,
speaking.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Um,
matter of survival.
yeah.
Survival.
Yeah, yeah. It's an heartbreaking story that if these people are exploited, that it's happening. Like I said, the United States needs these workers in order for us to have produce at a price we can afford, right? I mean, it's
Mhm,
kind of
mhm.
like I said, it's a system that goes on where the government is complicit because we know that this is happening. If they wanted to stop it, they could. They're
Yes.
stopping it in the cities, the migration. But in the areas where people are farming, it's allowed to happen because the farmers need it, right? Yeah.
Yes,
What would,
it's
go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Ask your question.
I was just saying, what would you like readers to know or viewers to know about the situation and the problem there?
Well, what I like most about what I wrote was that when I was a youngster myself in school, we learned the words and the music to the song of the inscription that's on the Statue of Liberty.
Hmm.
And we would sing that song. And I don't know if many people know that there is music to those words that are on the Statue of Liberty. And so that's a part of what I quote for the book. Said, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Send these the homeless tempests tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
Hmm.
And to me, the migrants, no matter who they are, no matter what they look like, no matter how they talk, that Statue of Liberty at one point, at one time of our life as a country, meant that the shore was open
Mm.
and they would come here and find a better life and a new life open for everyone. Give me your tired, your poor. And even as a child, that meant a lot to me. And I
Mm.
believed it.
Yeah,
I believed it as a true and an adage for everyone.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It's a tough situation now, because people are coming over here in unprecedented numbers. I mean, during the Biden administration, what's it estimated, 10 to 12 to 15 million people came into our country. I mean, and the people who are suffering are not the rich. The people
Mhm.
who are suffering are the people in poor inner city neighborhoods who are finding their schools overwhelmed, their
Mhm.
resources drained, their
Mhm.
parks closed in some instances for housing.
Mhm.
So, how do you balance what's right for the American people? Like I said, in many cases, it's the poor people. In fact, in many cases, the rich people want them to come because it's cheap labor for their corporations and their companies and for their domestic help.
Yes.
Um, so, like I said, the people who are getting squeezed here are the people of limited means who are vying over limited resources. So, how do we balance it? How do we square it? What do you think?
Well, I think we have to understand that this country was built on this same principle. Folk left the country, England,
Hmm.
for religious oppression to come to this country for what they called religious freedoms.
Hmm.
So it's not a new, what is it? The word tells us nothing's new under the sun.
Yeah, true.
And this, if we can all remember that others had come with this same situation years and years ago, migrant situations. We not the For religious oppression, or others were brought here as slaves. This is Black History Month.
Hmm.
There's been a migrant issue throughout the history of the United States of
Hmm.
America. We were built on the fact that we are different people with the same heart,
Hmm.
with the same dreams, with the same love, with the same hopes, and with the same realization that all of us are created equal no matter what. No matter what our goals and aims are, we're all the same. We're either related to Adam and Eve or we're related to the frog.
True. Very, very true. I'll take Adam and Eve over the frog, without a doubt. Well, you've done a wonderful work here in your articulation of this problem and the dream of America. It's articulated in your book as well. It is called Beside the Golden Door. It is a compelling novel that brings to life the daily realities of labor camps along the East Coast. It captures one family's unwavering determination to overcome adversity while holding on to their dreams. With powerful storytelling and unforgettable characters, Beside the Golden Door is a must-read for anyone who values the pursuit of a better life, which I think is just about everyone. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. It was
Pleasure is all
my
mine.
pleasure. It
Great
was
having you on the show. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.